Hey everybody, so again, we're going to do video lessons for this chapter. So start writing down 2.2, solving two-step equations. And your essential question for the day is, what is the process you would use to solve a two or more step equation? You can push pause if ever I'm talking too fast or you need to write, and I'll just keep going. All right? If at any time you have a question, you just put a star by that example, and then we'll talk about it during class tomorrow. So pause if you need to. I'm going on. What is the solution of 5 equals t over 2 minus 3? So we're just going to go back and we're going to figure out, okay, what did we do in the past? How do I solve this? Well, the first thing, you always put a line down. Got it. All right. And I'm going to make a do-undo chart. You don't have to do this every time, but you do in your head. So I find the t. There it is. I'm going to highlight it just so I can come back to it later. So there's what I'm trying to solve for. And as I look at it, what's being done to the t right away? Well, it's dividing by 2. And then it's minusing 3. So now in order to undo it, just like you undo a zipper, you're going to go backwards and just kind of go up, and I don't like that pen. All right, so I have to undo the minus 3. So the way I'm going to process through it, I'm just going to go right back up my ladder. I came down, now I go back up. So how do I undo the minus 3? Well, I just add 3 to both sides. Plus 3. Then rewrite it. Every single time I want you showing your work. If you don't like your work, well, I love you too much not to let you not do it. So do it anyway. So I drop down my t divided by 2, rewrite it. 5 plus 3 over here, I get 8. So now I undid my minus 3 by adding 3. And then to undo my divided by 2, I times 2. Be really careful with those. A lot of people miss the times and do the wrong thing. Your answer should be 16 equals t. So I draw a box around it. Did you get it? All right, now this one, you can choose. Push pause and try it on your own, or go with me and I'll just do it with you. So you're going to draw a line down. If I was going to do a do and undo chart, I'm multiplying by 1/4. And after that, I'm adding 4 because I'm working with the h. The first thing was multiply, then I added, okay? Then I go back up and do I go the opposite way. I kind of sad map it for all intents and purposes. How do you undo plus 4? You minus 4. So I minus 4 from both sides. Oh, gosh. How do I do that over here? Well, here's my thought. First of all, I'm just going to drop down the 1/4 h. And I know that if I owed somebody $4 and I paid them back a quarter, how much do I owe them now? Well, I owe them $3.75. But if you don't like that, we can just do a little thought process over here. So I've got 1/4, and I got to make common denominators. 4 equals, well, if I want fourths on the bottom, times 4, 16. So 1/4 minus 16/4, negative 15/4. Now, how do I undo the 1/4? If you need help, put your hands out in front of you. How do you undo 1/4? Good, 4/1. So I times by 4/1, times by 4/1. Look at this, simplifies out. That goes to 1, so I got h equals negative 15. If that's not good for you yet, that's okay. Put a star by it, and we'll talk more about it. We'll do some like this, I promise, together tomorrow. But then at least you will have slept on it, and it should be better. Now this one, write it down. 6 equals x minus 2 all over 4. Do you notice something different between this and the last one? I do. I see that the x minus 2 is on the top, and so what really that means is I've got parentheses right there. So What that means is if I made my do and undo chart now, because this x minus 2 is all on the top this time, as I'm putting it together, I'm minusing the 2 first and then dividing by 4. So to undo that, I times by 4 and then I add 2. So line down, times by 4. I always do my times up high. Oh gosh, I just moved that. Hold on, let's pause. All right, so look, when I do that, this 4 and this 4 simplify out. That was the whole divided by 4 times by 4 simplifies. 6 times 4 gives you 24. Equals x minus 2 plus 2 to both sides. And my answer is 26 equals x. Now, if I'm going too fast, you push pause, you try it by yourself, you look at what in the world I'm doing. That's the beauty of a video. You pause whenever you need to pause and you don't have to worry about your neighbors. What's the difference between these two equations? Why don't you look at it, pause it for a second, see what you think, go through them and try to solve both of them by yourself, and then come back. Do you see on this one just the x's divided by 2? So in my do-undo chart, I would divide by 2 and then add 13. This one, because the whole thing is over 2, my do-undo chart here looks a little different. So this one, I would, if I was doing it, I would add the 13 first and then divide by 2. So to undo that, I would do the multiplication first, then the add. So I'm going to run through them super fast. And if that's too fast, you pause and watch. So I minus 13, minus 13. Be super careful. X over 2, negative 22, negative 13 is negative 35. Did you make a mistake there? Then times by 2, times by 2. Make sure you're showing all this work. Drop the x down. X equals negative 70. Woohoo! But this one, I'm going to multiply by 2 first. Look at that, simplifies out. Times 2. So x plus 13 equals negative 44. Minus the 13, minus 13, and I get, out of room, negative 57. You get totally different answers because the order you did them in was different. All right, almost done. Here's what I want you to do. Write these 5 problems down. Write them down and then try to solve them on your own. Push pause, and then I am just going to write my work down. I won't explain through it. I'll just write it down and you can come back and check your answers. All right, here are all your answers. This one, did you get negative 3 right here? Your answer should be negative 12. If you didn't get it right, look through my work, see what's different from my work and your work, and why my answer is right. Make sure you have that negative 12. This one, I got n equals 5. It's all positive. If you got something different, figure out what I did versus what you did. 13. This 7, it's a positive 7, so I subtract it first. I get negative 8 equals 8x divided out negative 1 equals x. This one, subtract my 2, I get negative 10. Did you get negative 10? Then I times 5, negative 50. This one, ew, 7.5, you can't. No. When you're multiplying, you make it improper first. So 15 halves times by 2 because the 2 is underneath everything. 15 equals x plus 3. Subtract the 3, x equals 12. So hopefully this was good practice. You could go at your own pace. Now, star anything you think you need questions on tomorrow or when you're done watching the video, and we'll practice from there. So good job. Make sure all of this is in your notes and your work is shown.